Thomas. Each week during Lent, we will release a video on Friday that features our choir singing one of the hymns that will be in the Sunday service the next week, and some commentary on the hymn. I hope to have some of them be interviews with other parishioners or staff members, but for this one, it's just going to be me. But do look for these each Friday in the email. The hymn for the first Sunday of Lent, it's like when you go to those restaurants where they say, if you eat this, 2-pound steak, you get your picture on the wall. This hymn is the 2-pound steak. It's got a lot in it, and it's really densely packed with imagery and metaphor. And there are 5 stanzas, and the tune itself is very sturdy as well. But it's a good hymn to sort of get us started for Lent because it lays out the whole problem with the human condition and our need for God to intervene because we can't do it ourselves. In fact, the last line of every stanza is from the Lord's Prayer. Thy kingdom come, O Lord, thy will be done. For historical context, you might note that this hymn was written, the text was written right after World War I in England. So the chaos and the carnage that was surrounding that was sort of what was being immediately addressed. Each verse, each of the 5 verses, has a central organizing image or story from the Bible. And in the first verse, the image is from Genesis 1, where the Spirit of God, we're told, hovered over the face of the deep, over the chaos of the waters, right? And then God said, let there be light, and there was light. So, Spirit of life, which moved ere form was made, through the thick darkness covering every nation, light to our blindness. And in this case, the thick darkness is the after effects of a world war. Verse 2 talks about our divisions and how our wars mock the love of God. And then the image is from Jesus saying, take up your cross and follow me, the last line of verse 2. His saving cross no nation yet will bear. Right. Verse 3 goes back to the Old Testament, to that fantastic story of the Tower of Babel. You may remember that, according to this story, all of humankind spoke one language and conspired to build this great tower that would reach up to heaven so they could get to God. And God, in order to thwart their efforts, made them speak different languages and confounded their efforts, and they were unable to fix the tower, and this is the beginning of all the different languages and tongues. So, envious of heart, blind-eyed, with tongues confounded, nation by nation still goes unforgiven. And then the last line, building proud towers which shall not reach to heaven. And I think the point is we still are trying to build our towers. We still are trying to do it ourselves. And it's only through, unless the Lord build the house, right? They labor in vain who build it. It's only with God's guidance and help and our aligning ourselves with God's mission that we can be sure that our earthly efforts will amount to anything. Verses 4 and 5 are really my favorite because they bring into high relief. We're heading towards the Passion of Christ, right? The ultimation of the Incarnation. But verses 4 and 5 take us back to Christmas, to the beginning of the Incarnation, right? And verse 4 talks about, led by no star, the rulers of the nations still fail to bring us to the blissful birth. So it contrasts the Magi led by the star to Jesus. And now our rulers have no star, and they're not bringing us to Jesus, right? And then verse 5 takes us back even further to the Word made flesh in the manger, right? Bind us in thine own love for better seeing thy Word made flesh and in a manger laid. So as we move through Lent and are approaching the Passion of Christ on Palm Sunday, let's keep in mind that the whole creation rested in that one moment when the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. I hope you enjoy our choir singing this. For each hymn, they recorded their parts in their own homes individually and sent them to me, and I mixed it all together. So it really is a great way for us to make music during the pandemic.
With tongues confined.